What's going on, everybody? It's Dan Moonshine. The Hillbill Hellraisers are back with another video. I figured this one is going to be a review, but it's going to be a combo package, a value meal, if you will, of sorts. But hopefully it doesn't give you the runs. Anyhow, so I've gotten a ton of new releases. I've listened to a lot of stuff, but as I've stated recently, I haven't had a lot of time to sit down, do videos and stuff like that. And even though I really wanted to review a lot of these as singular entities, I really haven't had a chance to. So I figured I would do all this in one lump sum, try to do it in a reasonable, timely manner, and hopefully not babble on too long about too much, and kind of give you the bare bones assessment of what I thought of each individual album. A couple of them I don't have physical copies of at the moment. They're being shipped. They're on the way. One's coming from overseas. The other one I'm getting pretty soon, probably in the next couple days or so. It probably later or early next week, due to the fact that as I'm recording this, it's the 3rd, so tomorrow's 4th of July, so everything's going to be closed. So I seriously doubt that anything will be getting received tomorrow. So yeah, man. So let's get into this. I'll start at one of the older ones. This one is Bella Regis from the band Hate. This is if you're not familiar, a 4-piece Polish death metal band. This one came out on Metal Blade Records, I want to say a couple months ago, and this was killer. I mean, this was a fantastic album. I wasn't fully aware of what to expect from it. It was one of those where it was on my radar and then it wasn't. And then I just bit the bullet and bought it. And I was really glad that I did, because I really enjoyed this one a lot. It was one of those things where actually back when I initially got it, I was gonna do like a shootout kind of deal where I was gonna do comparing this to the new Behemoth and this one, and talk about which one was the better Polish death metal band. In this case, spoiler alert, it was Hate. That new Behemoth, it was all right, but it wasn't great. You know, it had its moments, but it wasn't great. But yeah, man, this is as far as, I'll look at my notes here for a second. I would say that this had a very majestic feel to it. It had bombastic, triumphant riffs. The drum work on it was furious. The double kicks were blistering. They would sprinkle in little female vocals here and there, and offer up, it would create these haunting soundscapes and really give it like a very classy veneer. I'll probably use that term a couple times here, but yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It is definitely it definitely holds and continues the legacy of the really great Polish death metal bands like Vader. Early Behemoth, a good Behemoth. This is definitely along the lines of that, and it definitely keeps up that tradition. The Polish scene definitely has a certain sound and an element to the type of death metal that they play, and this is no different. So if you're a fan of that sort of stuff, you're really going to enjoy this. As far as some of my favorite tracks, I would say Iphigenia is really good, and Prophet of Arkan, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Those are two really standout tracks, just to kind of give you an idea, a little teaser, a taste of what this album sounds like. And yeah, man, if you're not familiar with it, go pick it up. They were supposed to be on tour with Belphegor this year. That was the band. They couldn't make it due to visa issues. So it was kind of a shame that I didn't get to see them live. But, it is what it is. Hopefully they get all that sorted out and they get to come stateside and rock everyone's socks off. So yeah, man, Hate, Bella Regis. Go, if you haven't already, go pick this one up. Up next, we got from Gruesome, Silent Echoes. This one came out on Relapse Records. This, everyone is probably familiar with Gruesome. Total death tribute band. Made pretty much this, you could pretty much plug and play into any later era Death album or even any Cynic album, particularly Human by Death and Focus by Cynic. This is very proggy death metal in the vein of that stuff. They make no bones about it. Matt Harvey, Gus Rios, Robin Mazin, Dan Gonzalez. This is a killer's row of a band. Robin from Castrator. Daniel, he plays with Prescriptor, Prescriptors, Absu, Possessed. Uh, Gus plays with freaking, I can't remember the names, something Slither with Matt, but Matt, of course, from Exhumed. I believe they were both involved with Left to Die. I know they were involved somewhat with the Death to All project, the tour that was going on. And yeah, they have this is a love letter to death. It's the best way I could describe this album. It's fantastic. I mean, Frailty is an excellent song. I love the lyrical content of it, just the overarching theme of living for the moment because you never know what's going to happen in the future. So enjoy what you have while you still have it, that kind of deal. It really, it resonates. I think it's one of those things that resonates with me and others and that sort of thing. When you think about all these sorts of macabre, gruesome things. And it was interesting, though. It was pretty cool. Gus, who considered Sean Reiner a friend and a mentor, he was donated his snare drum that he used on Focus by his mom and his sister. Sean Reiner, of course, has passed away. From what I gathered, it took them a while to make this album because it kind of hit Gus really hard, and they wanted to do justice to the legacy of the bands that they love, with Chuck Schuldiner and Sean, and just that whole era of with the Paul Masvidal, and who actually he played on Voice Within the Void. He did some lead work on that, which is a tremendous instrumental on this album. Silent Echoes, the title track, is a fantastic song. But yeah, just that whole era, the Steve DiGiorgio, Gene Hoglan, Sean Reiner, Paul Masvidal, that whole Human album, which is sensational. I know people they're torn on the whole Death thing and where they're good and where they're not good and all that, but I love Death. I think they're a fantastic band. They were very very much as far as death metal bands go, they were probably a little bit ahead of their time as far as the proggy tech deathy kind of stuff. But yeah, man, this is a fantastic album. Silent Echoes by Gruesome. If you haven't already, go check it out. You can get it through Relapse, Bandcamp, wherever you get stuff. Go check it out. right, next up, we're getting into some current era stuff here. Some current moment, I should say. First up, this just came out this past Friday. This is the 18th studio full length release by Sodom, the Arsonist. Yeah, if people do or don't know, I am not extremely well versed in Sodom. It's of the German, like the big four German thrash bands from back in the day. They're probably the ones I like the most. Probably outside of maybe Darkness, but beyond that, I can't really say that I am a very well researched metalist on a lot of the German thrash bands. Like I've stated it before, I'll mention it real quick that some of them I've tried to get into. I don't know, like especially like Destruction in particular, I've tried and I just for whatever reason, I don't know. I There's something about them. They don't hold my interest. I got a whole greatest hits album from them years ago, and I don't know. It just doesn't hold my interest. But Sodom I actually enjoy. I've been digging deeper as I had heard this album was coming out. I started digging deeper into their discography and starting at the beginning. And I really love what I heard. I love everything that I've heard. I was listening to over the course of a week. I listened to Under the Sign of Evil, which I've heard before. In the Sign of Evil, uh, listened to M16, and I didn't listen. I haven't heard Tap in the Vein yet. I haven't heard is a Persecution Day or something or other. Like I said, I'm not very well versed on them. And then I heard the very first full length, but off the top of my head, the name is escaping me. I apologize. But yeah, man, this was good. I really enjoyed it. The one thing I'll point out, I have to Zbigniew Bielek. He's the one who did the artwork on this album. I love the layout on it, the presentation of the album itself with the collage going on the insert, the layout of it. Uh, Very cool. The one thing I noticed listening to Agent Orange, that's the other album that I listened to. Just reminded myself just thinking of it. The one thing I noticed about this is that we're on I don't know if it started on the Genesis 19 album or it started before that on Decision Day, but where on the earlier albums where you get Angel Ripper has those really snarling proto black and death metal vocals that he does, the vocal approach that he uses. You don't really get a lot of that on this album. He seems to have pretty much foregone that and substituted it for very Tom Araya, very like repentless, even just straight up Tom Araya style vocals was the first thing I thought of when I heard them. It sounds exactly like that, and I tried to go back a little bit to see where he started switching it up a little bit, and it seems like that's when it started was on Genesis, but I haven't listened to Decision Day yet, so I don't know if that's when it began. But beyond that, I enjoyed a lot of this. It's fast and it's aggressive. It's very much in the vein of old school thrash, which is very cool. As far as a couple songs I really liked on it, AWTF was probably my favorite one. The Battle of Harvest Moon was a really good one. There's 13 songs on this. There's a lot to like about it. There's definitely more songs that I really enjoyed on. I just didn't write them down, and yeah, it's really good. I've probably spun it maybe like four, maybe five times since I purchased it, and I got it on Monday. I got it I went to the Evil Empire Amazon and picked it up with one other thing, a couple other things, but one hasn't arrived yet. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm probably going to continue to dig deeper into the world of Sodom. And yeah, definitely go check this one out. I know there's people well more versed in Sodom's discography and their history than I am, so I would be curious to hear what people thought of it in comparison to some of their early stuff, as well as some of their later stuff, which other people have spoken about. Actually, I saw Razor Fist, if any of you are familiar with him. He just did a Metal Mythos on thrash metal, and he was talking about Sodom. He was wearing a Sodom shirt, talked about a bunch of other cool bands. So if you want, go check out that video. It's really cool. I mean, the guy doesn't need my help. I'm getting like 30 viewers. He gets like probably 30,000 every couple of days. So he's certainly not needing the Moonshine McCoy endorsement. But anyhow, it was very cool nonetheless, and definitely a cool watch if you wanted some time killing fuel. But yeah, man, once again, Sodom the Artist, the Arsonist, the Ardenist, Sodom the Arsonist, go check it out. I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, we were smelling. You can have a shower. It was a shower. The colour basically was anything. And it was rather good, old boy.
They keep running like the thunderstorm. The fields are still come up their life. Charming as the bleeding, reflecting to the many delight. Breaking all over the world. To turn your head around. We're gonna better run like hell into the arms of waitress spell. Walked away a broken glass to the man who never was. Heading into the underworld, to the glory of the damned. Even all else are breathing over your horizon. Game of friend. AWTS, AWTS. Resistance will be useless. AWTS. The fate of death we just ignored. Don't wanna be left to be dead. Raising hell, released to the ground. Escorted from the snorting tank. Breaking all over the world. To turn your head around.
All right, I'm going to speed myself up a little bit here because I'm running behind on time here. Cornet's in the back with the pencil tapping at me. But this one up next, this is the latest one, Mind Trap from Inhuman Condition. I really enjoyed this one. It straight up Tampa death metal, old school death metal mixed in with some thrash undertones. Very cool. It's a three-piece again here from Tampa. You got Terry Butler, Jeremy King, Taylor Nordberg. You know, Terry taking time off from working with Obituary. Taylor taking time off from working with Deicide. Jeremy, I didn't really look to see what else he does besides Inhuman Condition. But this is a fantastic album. It's on Listenable Insanity Records. They are going to be at the Brass Mug on Friday the 11th. I want to say Friday the 11th to do a record release party. Check out this cool Dan Goldsworthy artwork. This is phenomenal. I really enjoy that. You got all the boys sit there in all sorts of torture devices, getting tortured and maimed and murdered, and rats all over the place, and some creepy looking mother sitting there looking at him with delight. You got the fellas, they recorded, mixed, and mastered the entire thing themselves. They did a really good job on this. Like I said, it's old school death metal mixed with thrash elements. Very cool. My favorite track on this is Face for Later. But you get Godship is really good. Science of Discontent is good. Mind Tool Weapon is fantastic. The whole thing it's a fun album. I'm going to look very much forward to seeing it live. Really enjoyed the band. I got to see them last year when they opened up for Vader, and they did a really good job. But then they were also playing with Origin, and I missed Origin because I lost my earplugs, and I value my hearing, so I had to go figure out what I was going to do. But then I didn't lose them. I dropped them, but then the ground is filthy out in the club, so I didn't really want to. So I figured out a way. I finally figured out a way to clean them up and everything. And obviously, I don't have any long-term ear infections going on, so that worked. But yeah, man, go check this out. You can get it on the Bandcamp. That's where I picked it up. And they also here, check this out. They also gave me a very cool little post-it note, which I thought was very, very neat, and certainly appreciate that. Appreciate the love and the respect. I think it's cool that they got their own post-its. But yeah, and they had all sorts of bundle packages going on, but I didn't pick up those. I just picked up the disc. You get the little digipack sleeve, and then the actual CD proper in there with the excellent artwork and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, there's a lot to love about this album. Inhuman Condition, Mind Trap, go check it out. We're getting into the ones I don't have physical copies of yet. I'll explain why. The first one is from a German band called Angel of Damnation. It's Ethereal Blasphemy. It's on Dying Victim Productions. It came out, I can't really tell if it came out last week on June 27th or it came out on the 20th. Between the Bandcamp and Metal Archives, it was very confusing trying to figure that one out. They're a four-piece doom metal band from Germany. Uh, just fantastic. Very much in the style of early Candlemass, Witchfinder General. You got some of the groovier elements of Pentagram and Black Sabbath. Uh, you could, if you're a fan of Crypt Sermon, you'll probably really enjoy this. I would describe this album overall as this is the soundtrack to a Pinkies Up Black Mass, if that makes sense. It's very, very elegant, very, very classy, very well done as far as the musical and the vocal approach. Lots of creative storytelling within the songs. Very much, very, again, I've used this term earlier, but very bombastic and very uplifting. I would even say if you're a fan of Merciful Fate or even Fate-esque bands like Attic, you'd probably enjoy Angel of Damnation. They carry all the elements of the dark and evil, satanic, blasphemous imagery and lyrical content, while at the same time it gives you it still has that grandiosity of Candlemass or again like a Pentagram or bands of that epic doom style where it's really kind of It tells stories and really has like this very very sophisticated, like I said, elegant, very very classy overtones to it. As far as my favorite songs on the album, I really enjoyed most of the album, but ones that really stood out were Warning from the Sky, Hungry Hordes of Hades was really good. Probably one of the most fantastic song titles of all time was Anal Worship of the Goat Lord. That has to be a top 10 song title for the year. Absolutely, without a question. And it's a fantastic song. This is, I kind of came up with a very creative way of describing this earlier, but I lost it because I was out on the road and I was thinking about it. And of course, you can't write things down while you're driving because that's just dangerous. But yeah, man, if you haven't, go check it out. Angel of Damnation, Ethereal Blasphemy. It's out now on Dying Victim Productions. Go check it out if you like any of the aforementioned bands. And yeah, it was a killer one, and I look forward to getting it. It's on its way from Italy, so it'll be here probably in 3 months, and I'll get my hands on it. And yeah, I'll enjoy spinning it in a proper format beyond digital.
From the sky a warning came, man and beast will die. From the sky a warning came, I heard it went by. From the sky a warning came, no one seemed to care. From the sky a warning came, telling to beware. I know the answer to your sins lies buried deep within. You know that this is true. You fear the answer to
This thing under a half hour, including music samples. But last but certainly not least, not by any stretch of the imagination, the blue ribbon of new releases that I have listened to and have picked up recently. I am super stoked to get my hands on this one. It was one of those ones where I was interested in it, and but it wasn't really, it was one of those where with all the stuff that I was interested and on my mind and stuff I was going to pick up, I was gonna get it, but I really didn't rush to get it. And then once I finally did an order from Hell's Headbangers, I was like, I gotta get this. But I didn't want to do the whole pre-order thing. So I waited till probably a day or so before it was officially released. Got to hear it on YouTube from the No Gleaming Light channel, and then Hell's put out a release of it, so you got to hear it digitally. And I've listened to it a bunch of times through both of them. Just got a download of it so I can listen to it at home with my headphones and all that sort of stuff. And then probably by early next week, I'll get my hands on the official copy of it. It is Hexea, Hexella for us hillbillies, the ancient gaping mouth. This is a black and punk three-piece from Texas, from Tejas. And it's a 40 minute, 53-second album. And this is without a doubt, this is a fantastic out. This is a contender of the year, no doubt. There is no question. This one is one of the strongest releases that have come out so far this year. where Angel of Damnation are a soundtrack for a classy Pinkies Up black mass, this band and this album is probably the exact opposite. It is the soundtrack for a dirty, filthy, backroom, grime encrusted black mass. This is spikes and leather and beatings, and it is mean and nasty and evil in all senses. They did a fantastic job on this album. JD, Noel, Richard, they should all be very pleased with their work. They did an exceptional job on this album. The whole thing from top to bottom. I really I as far as standout tracks, I'm not bullshitting you here. Like I could pick out pretty much anything on this album and it would be a standout. But if I were gun to my head, somebody asking me what is your absolute favorite, I would say No Return is probably my favorite. I like kind of like the more when they start incorporating more of the punkier elements. I feel like that kind of is what makes it special. When they kind of hit a bit more of a groovier stride at times. That's kind of my wheelhouse. I like hearing riffs and groove and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be necessarily just blasting 1,000 miles an hour all the time for me. But yeah, the whole thing. I would say honestly, outside of Leviathan Calls, everything was killer to me. And even that's not a bad song. I don't know. It didn't necessarily register for me. Maybe when I listen to it, I'm sitting and listen to it with headphones on or at home and really get engaged with it a little bit more. It might resonate with me a little bit more. But other than that, I mean, the whole thing, Malefic Warpath, uh, Obsidian Eye, Storms of Uncreation, even I would say Voices of Vorsa. That was a song where I was like, this one might be a little bit of a weaker song on the album. But from 314 till the end, I really enjoyed that section of the song. It was really well done. Uh, Noel's vocals are superb. They're on point. They're angry and volatile and caustic. And JD's drumming and guitar work is outstanding throughout the whole thing. Richard laying down the foundation with the bass. Again, just the whole thing. Go pick it up. Go pick this freaking thing up. It's fantastic. fan of Goatwhore. If you like Mordant Red, if you like stuff like Spider or anything that has that element, that blackened punk element. And if you honestly, if you want a companion piece that I would suggest, I'm just putting it out there because I like the band, I like the guys in it. Local band from Tampa, Athlon, go check them out on Bandcamp. They kind of have a similar style. Let me know what you think of them because I'm trying to get a little buzzed with these guys and get something happening there. But yeah, man. So that's my six new releases that I felt like talking about, trying to do a review and kind of get the word out and at least my opinion out there on a bunch of them. I would actually say honorable mention of new releases was the album 3 by King Witch. This is they're a doom metal band from Edinburgh, Scotland, doomy sludge kind of band, fantastic. The vocalist, I want to say Laura, her name is. She has an amazing range, just fantastic. I would say very much close to Robert Lowe-esque as far as vocal range and power. I listened to that. I listened to it on my way to Acid Bath, and I really enjoyed the hell out of that album. I'm gonna get it here soon, but it just as far as an honorable mention album, I would say King Witches 3 is another really, really good one. I can't remember off the top of my head the label to put it out, but I know I saw it on Bandcamp. That's probably where I'll get it, unless I can get it somewhere where it's released domestically, because I think it's mostly overseas. But yeah, man, so that's what I got. This will probably clock in over a half hour because I'm adding music samples, but yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you check out all the music. Let me know what you think. If you're new here, go do all the things that everybody asks you to do to help them make their channels grow a little bit better and get better engagement. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it. So this is Dan. This has been Moonshine Talking. Hope you enjoyed it. Take it easy. Have a happy and safe 4th of July. This may or may not come out before then. If it doesn't, I hope you had a happy and safe 4th of July and all of your limbs are still intact and attached and all that sort of good stuff. And yeah, take it easy. Have a good one. As always, stay sick, stay heavy, stay brutal. Always tuck your chin upon impact. Don't forget to breathe. I'll catch you on the next video. Later.